I'm going to pass it to and fro. We're going to do to and fro.
Yeah, I'm not drinking that little juices he got.
Yeah.
Sugar free, no sugar.
Very healthy. Derrick James, the trainer, the teacher, I'm actually going to call you, of Anthony Joshua. Break down the fight as a former fighter and as a coach. How did you think it went, Derrick?
I think it went the way that we planned it. I think that in those last couple of rounds, he probably could have stepped on the gas a little bit more and probably took him out. You know what I mean? But I think at the same time, Franklin was holding. I think that he was holding those last 2 or 3 rounds or whatever. But, it was okay. I mean, I think that it's a process. It's a process. I mean, and that was a simplified strategy because what happens is this what happens. If you train the Errol Spence and Frank Martin or Jamel Charlo, right? What I teach them, I can't work with him on it because I've had more time with them, and I know that they can do it. So what I had to do was I was working with him. I had to sit back and say, I have to simplify it so where he's not thinking about it. So it's coming natural. So what you saw was natural. He worked the strategy, he did the strategy. It wasn't like he had to think about anything. He was just there. And that's why you never want to get a fighter caught thinking. And so that's why with time, it'd be better, it'd be easier, and it'd be better.
The thing is, I like what you said there because like I said, we saw him come out and he was, they're feeling each other out. It's the first time he's fought Jermaine. He's not really sure what he's going to bring back. But the rounds went on. We saw AJ now start to, push on the gas and build that confidence. You couldn't see it from where we were sitting, but as Jermaine started to go back into the corner, he started to look more. Yeah. So, that kind of strategy worked. What advice, because I didn't get to hear, what advice was you giving AJ in the corner when he was coming back in? What were the words that you were saying to him?
I was just telling him, let's keep working the jab and start shooting the right hand a little bit more. And then I said on the inside, he was holding you, so shoot the shot shorter on the inside. But Franklin, or do the jab and shoot the uppercut because he was, so it was like, there was so many things that he could, it comes with time. That's why I can't be mad, I can't be upset because you give me 9 weeks, and this is what we did in 9 weeks, and he was able to stick to the strategy and stay focused.
When you put it like that, 9 weeks, that is a really short amount of time to take a fighter and try and adjust, add to the arsenal that they've already got. He's an experienced fighter. He's a previous 2-time world champion. It's not like you've got a fresh novice coming in there that is going to look for you for guidance. He's going to have traits. He's going to have habits. But what I will say is I saw him using angles more, being able, because he's quite flat-footed usually, AJ, but we saw him moving off on angles, and we did see him get kind of aggressive, getting Jermaine into headlocks, things that he doesn't necessarily always do.
Right. Yeah, I think that it's all in process. I think it's in time. I think that what you saw was the beginning of something I believe is to be great. But I think that once he gets more comfortable, and it's not about being comfortable in the ring, it's about being comfortable with what my instructions are. So that's why I was saying, like, if it was somebody different with 5, 6 years down the line, it'd be different. This is 9 weeks. And so he did good because I didn't want him to be engaged and get wild. I mean, I just wanted to simplify the game plan, the strategy. That's exactly what he did. He stuck to it, and he did what he needed to do.
I kind of guess this is kind of like a personal question. He made the choice for you to be his trainer. When Anthony Joshua kind of like turned up on your doorstep, to how he's kind of like developing now, what would you say are the differences that you can see in him? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this, Derrick, is because we saw him break after he lost to Usyk. We saw him literally break in front of everybody. Somebody that was frustrated of how this smaller man could beat him. Somebody that was broken, somebody that was hurt, somebody that had worked hard to get his belts and they were taken away from him. Right. Who was that Anthony Joshua that turned up at your doorstep initially, and who are you starting to see him become?
Yeah, man, he's still, I think that from a boxing perspective, he was broke. But I think from what you say, but from him as a student wanting to be better, he was alive. Because I think that you can't even come in here and get better if you're broken. So you have to be open, right? So he was open to the idea of taking knowledge. Because if you think about it like this, having a fighter who's been fighting for how many ever years, 20-some fights, two-time world champion, Olympic gold medalist, you would think that they wouldn't take advice well, right? But I think that at the same time, you have to come in humble. You have to come in hungry as a student. And at the same, if you think about it like this, a lot of times a lot of guys have a lot of bad habits. He didn't have many bad habits. He just had to, like I said, I didn't want to change him, I just wanted to enhance him. And that's exactly what we did. And so you'll see, you saw him work on the inside a little bit. You saw him shoot some uppercuts on the inside. And the right hand was coming. It's going to get right. It's going to get him, I promise you.
That relationship, finally, the relationship with yourself and him, we saw AJ sitting there looking really comfortable, kind of like relaxed. We've done it now. Right. This is the first threshold that we've gone over.
Yes, I do.
You mentioned that you want to have the fights that are right for him. You know the division. Who do you think that he should go in with next as another stepping stone to get back on that road to world championship fights?
I think that it's up to him. You know, that's one part of the game I don't get involved in. I think that
you mentioned that.
Right, yeah, I want for him what he wants for himself, and that's the easiest way out of it because it's like I don't really even watch those. I never even watched Mike. I saw Dylan White fight him, Franklin. I've seen Joshua and Wilder and Fury fight. They were fighting each other, so I was just watching as a fan, not necessarily as a looking for the next opponent because I wasn't in a heavyweight division at the time. So it's like now it's really up to them and who they choose. Because now I'm saying, okay, let's go.
Well, we're happy to see the relationship starting to build. Like you said, this is the beginning of something new, what rightly entitled a new dawn. Congratulations on the win for the team. It's a team win. You mentioned that the targets are on both of you, the eyes, the pressure's on both of you. You've done that now. Thank you.
You're right about that because it's like the coach is going against me, and from his perspective, and Wilder's going against. Josh was going against whoever, and like for me, it's like I'm not competing against them. I'm competing against myself. And I'm my greatest competition. Focus on being better for Anthony Joshua, and that's all it's about.
And I'd be rude not to ask before you go. Will Errol Spence is that fight going to happen with Errol Spence? The big fight, the fight that's always being tweeted about.
I don't know. I've been over here. I've been so Anthony Joshua that I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you, to be honest.
If it happens, it happens, right?
That's right. If it happens, it happens. I mean, listen, like I said the other day, either get it going and let's stop talking about it.
And on that note, October Red Boxing with the lovely Derrick James. Thank you so much for your time. And your son says, I've got to get over to Texas.
Yeah, come on over. Yeah.
I can get some skin color then. Get rid of this paleness.
Oh, no doubt. That sun is hot. It was even hot even in the wintertime.
Wow.
Yeah, you get some of that sun.
I need that.
Need that sun and vitamin D.
Yeah, we won't get into that. But Derrick, thank you so much. Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.